Hey guys, hope you're well. On today's video, I just want to run through a full Shopify funnel breakdown for a Shopify store, just to show you guys from beginning to end what you need to run and to scale a Shopify brand successfully. And we're going to use some examples from some really big brands who are on Shopify, like AG1, for example. They were valued at $1.2 billion earlier this year. That grew into, I think, had a valuation somewhere between 100 to 200 million dollars at some point in the recent past, and Dirty as well, who are quite big in the UK. I actually built their original website a couple of years back also. So first of all, just a high level overview here. At the top of the funnel, we have the marketing side of things, and that can be paid or organic. Further down, we have kind of mid funnel where we've got a landing page or a website. And then we've got bottom of funnel, which is the checkout, cart upsells, things like that. The cart or the checkout where people actually convert into a paying customer. So those are kind of the three high level points that we're going to go through. If we get started with the traffic side of things, of course we can go really in depth and just make a video on running video ads on Meta, or just make a video on running image ads on Meta, and so on and so forth. Like, you can get really granular with this stuff. This video is going to be a little bit higher level, but just to run you through some opportunities which you might not have already been aware of. Within marketing, you may already know you have paid or organic. Paid platforms are usually going to be Meta, that will extend to Instagram as well, also TikTok, and to a certain degree, Google and YouTube and so on as well. You can do paid marketing on any of these platforms, but you can also do organic on them as well. And so there is a lot of crossover between organic marketing and paid marketing from that point of view. Now, with regards to paid marketing, most people just think of running an ad campaign on Meta where you've got some image ads and video ads and you direct people to a landing page to make a purchase. And that's one of the simplest ways of driving paid traffic to your Shopify store. However, in addition to that, especially if that campaign is doing well and you have got some decent budget behind it, you can start to do some awareness campaigns where you post educational content and then pump that educational content up by putting it in an awareness campaign and having it served to people in your target demographic who might not be aware of your brand yet. Typically, as you scale a brand, you will run into issues where your ads are being served more and more to people who are harder to sell to, meaning that they require more time to make a decision. They're not as trusting as perhaps some of your initial customers were, and it just takes a lot more work to take them from a viewer to a purchaser. And so awareness campaigns, boosting posts and things like that can all be beneficial from that point of view. You can also then set up a retargeting campaign as well to retarget users who have interacted with or at least watched some of your videos on these social media platforms, either purely organically or through something like an awareness campaign as well. So those are some paid strategies that you can implement to drive traffic to your website. From an organic point of view, what you'll be doing is making posts on these platforms as well. So Reels would go really well on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube Shorts as well, or all three. You can repurpose your content across multiple platforms, although keep in mind that platform to platform statistics can vary a little bit. For example, YouTube has a slightly different demographic to TikTok, Instagram as well, and so on and so forth. There are some differences between platforms in terms of what types of posts you can make as well. So once you can post reels on, let's say Instagram, for example, on Twitter, you're probably not gonna, you can post videos, but it's not really a video based platform. It's more text based. And so some of what you're pushing out on a platform needs to be relevant to the platform itself. Gary Vee's latest book actually does a really good job of going into detail on this and breaking down the differences between each platform and what makes one stronger over another. So I do definitely recommend that. But paired up with your paid marketing strategy, you do also want to have an organic strategy as well. The organic strategy will help you pump your content out to new demographics, also provide some of your paid retargeting campaigns with fuel so that they can go after new viewers who are seeing your reels, and it'll also give you some understanding or some ability to test what works well in an organic setting before you start to scale up in a paid setting as well. So once you're driving traffic to the website and you've got people visiting your Shopify store, you then want them to land somewhere, right? And that can either be on a landing page or it can be somewhere else on the website. Now, I think landing pages are really good, especially for brands that have very few SKUs, so they're selling very few products, or for beginner brands, or if you're just testing a product, testing an idea. Maybe you have an idea for a product that you want to make, but you don't really know if people are interested in buying it yet. I've seen so many times founders pump their life savings into building a product and trying to build a brand around an idea that maybe isn't fully flushed out yet. Maybe it isn't in its current state going to produce a successful e-com store. And so really what we want to do is we want to test that idea first before we start scaling things up. Now, a landing page, a really good landing page example will be Grüns, for example. So if I pull up their website for a second over here, you can see a landing page is kind of like a hybrid between a homepage and a product page. So if I click try comprehensive gummies here, I don't actually go to another page. It just scrolls me down. If I shut this for a second, it just scrolls me down to this section over here, which is very similar to the top of a product page, for example. So you've got the product imagery, you've got the buy now button, and then you've got some benefits above the fold and things like that as well. But if I scroll up and I scroll to the website a little bit, I find out more information about the brand, about the products. I see some reviews, some testimonials, some case studies and things like that as well. So a landing page is a really good way to test and even to scale to an extent. Like I said, I believe this brand was valued or sold somewhere between 100 and 200 million US. So definitely a very successful brand, and they utilize the landing page format. Now, you can also do product pages as well, and that would probably be my preference after the landing page. So this would be if you direct traffic directly to a product page where you're selling a specific product, and that's not a bad idea at all. You just need to make sure that your above the fold section is optimized as much as possible. If we take a look at let's say this website on mobile for a second, you'll notice at the top of the page, there's a lot going on. You can see that you've got a bunch of social proof. You can see that we have some benefits, a 30-day money-back guarantee, a clear CTA, some good imagery, some highlighted benefits in the promotional bar as well, any type of promotions that are being run, and so on and so forth. I would probably change the color of the CTA just so it didn't blend in with all the green on the page, but that's a personal preference. So you really just want to make sure that your above the fold is tight, whether it's a landing page or a product page, but especially if you're directing to a product page, it's definitely important that you do want to do that. And then we have the homepage as well. And the homepage, as you guys know, you're going to have a hero section at the top of the page, and then some categories, collections, things like that further down. I usually wouldn't recommend utilizing the homepage to drive traffic to unless you have an enormous catalog. And the reason being is because usually the homepage, you want people to pick what type of product they want and then go into that type of product. Whereas if you're only selling one or two products, it's kind of redundant, right? Like you can only buy one or two things from us. There's no need to introduce more friction and an additional page in the user journey for the users to then decide which page they do or do not want. So I'd probably keep this simple, either a landing page or a product page. Unless you've got a massive catalog, then we can think about utilizing the homepage. If I do pull up Dirty's homepage just for a second here, you'll see some of what I'm talking about as we scroll down. You can see like the shop by benefit section, focus, energy, beauty, calm. So different demographics will radiate towards different benefits here, and they'll be recommended different products based on that. So ideally, we only really want to direct traffic to these types of sections if we're going after a big demographic and we sell lots of different stuff, and we want people to be able to figure out what works best for them, essentially. Then we have the checkout kind of bottom of funnel side of things. So this would be the cart and then into the checkout. Personally, I don't usually like utilizing cart pages. So if you add a product to the cart and then you go to an actual page that is the cart page before you get to the checkout, it's an extra page load before the user actually gets to the checkout where they do actually make a purchase. So ideally, we want to avoid that. We want to make things as simple as possible. And so I like to utilize a slide out cart. And then inside of the slide out cart, we'll add things like a free shipping progress bar. So that would mean that if users purchase X amount of product or add X amount of product to the cart, they'll then qualify for free shipping. You can also do upsells in the cart as well. So you can have upsells at the bottom of the cart or really anywhere on the cart. And you can introduce free gifts and things like that as well. I'll show you a good example here from another one of our clients. So if we add this product to the cart for a second, you'll see the slide out cart over here. This isn't an app they're using right now, I believe. If you add more products to the cart, you can get a additional discount. But then we have some upsells here as well. So I can add these upsells to the cart, and that will give me some additional discounts and entice me to check out. Sometimes brands will also add a free gift here as well. If you add X amount of products, you'll get a free gift. That can be a physical gift, but it can also be a digital one as well. You know, if you're a fashion brand, it could be a styling guide, it could be an ebook, it could be a online course, it could be anything really. And so keep that in mind as well, and that can increase click-through from the slide out cart to the checkout, which is where we want people to go to actually make a purchase. Inside of the checkout, unless you're on Shopify Plus, there's really not much that you can actually do to customize the checkout on Shopify. If you are on Shopify Plus, you can add some upsells and things like that in there, but realistically, you're not going to make it crazy different. You know, you might change some colors, change some fonts, you might add in an upsell or a cross sell or something like that, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. And then post-purchase, you might want to probably use it with some type of post-purchase upsell. One click of a button, they can upgrade to something else that you sell, or a yearly plan instead of a monthly plan if it's a subscription product or anything along those lines. We do also want to start retargeting people, going back to this organic content here. Once they've entered into the funnel and they've made it through to a place where we have their contact information, so they've made it to the checkout, we then want to start retargeting them with a newsletter and also with email campaigns as well. If they've abandoned their cart or abandoned their checkout, then obviously we want to convert them. But even if they've made a purchase, there's probably things that they need to know about the product. There's also probably other products that you do sell that they might be interested in that would work really well for them now, given that they have your main offering or your main product as well. So with all that said, that's kind of a basic funnel breakdown for a Shopify store, going from top of funnel to bottom of funnel with all the stages in between as well. Of course, as I said, we can get very granular with each of these stages, and I would like to do so in future videos, but I just wanted to make this one as kind of a high level overview, just going from how do we actually get people to the website, and then once we get people to the website, how do we actually get them to convert. I do have some videos on how to craft the perfect homepage and product page on the channel, so please do check those out as well. Wishing you guys all the best, and if you need any help, we have a link in the description where you can book a call with myself or my team one-to-one, and hopefully we can have a bit more of a discussion. Wishing you guys all the best and hope this was useful.